You're listening to This Week in Real Estate with your host, Rob Golfi. Brought to you by the Golfi team at RE/MAX Escarpment, featuring Conrad Zarini, broker-owner of RE/MAX Escarpment Realty Inc., and Brian Hogbin, owner of Mission 35 Mortgages. Let's hear what's going on in real estate this week.
Good morning. What's happening, guys? Thanks for coming on. It's
morning.
Beautiful week we've had with weather this week. It's amazing, crazy. So, what's anything? Any news or anything that's? Because Conrad, I know you read every single newspaper that is in North America. Anything that stands out that you think that might be something?
The frustration of these first-time buyers and that whole thing, and that dream of owning downtown Toronto, single detached, kind of going away. But on the plus side, people are saying as long as I got great internet connection and I'm solid there, I can move anywhere. So really, it's kind of a bittersweet, let's say, so to speak, right? I think what's in the news again, the heat replicated the market because the week before with the long weekend, wow, I was kind of concerned. We weren't seeing the appointments. And then the week after, wow, it had just exploded again. And we were down like 18% the week before. And then our appointments shot up 11%. Last year at this time, the same one-day high, the same day, the day after the long weekend, the Friday after the long weekend, we had a record-breaking amount of appointments, just like we did in 2020. So same, almost like 3 or 4 off, right? That was it.
I noticed last week there's even a bump in the Tuesday and Wednesday appointments made. So is that just due to because of the weekends? People are going away and now they're booking during the week to view homes instead of because usually Thursday and Fridays are the big days for appointments booked.
Yeah, but, you're absolutely. It's getting more spread, definitely. And then, if people are going to, again, I'm not saying people are holding offers as much as they used to, but I would definitely say the Wednesday would be the day to hold off offers right now. If you're going to do something, right?
Awesome.
Could make sure you get over that hump of the weekend, right? That Monday, Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So what I wanted to bring up is condos, self-managed versus property management company. Now, any of you guys live in a condo?
I did, and I experienced it both ways on the same condo.
So let me predict this. It was self-managed when you moved in, and then everybody got fed up of it, and then they went to a property management. Am I correct?
No, it's funny. It was the other way around.
No kidding.
It was managed by a property management company. So it was a new complex, and they turned it over. The builder turned it over to a company. We kind of muddled around for a year with the management company, and then after, everybody said, "Well, look, come on, we can do this better." So then, for about then we did that for about 18 months, and then we did self-management for about 2 years, and then the person that did everything sold, and we were like, let's go back
hanging.
To management again.
They say, "Oh yeah, so you're coming back now, eh? Okay, things are going to be a little different now." But you know what? I get it. You're right. If the guy that's managing it, it's usually a retired person that has the time and wants to do it. It's either a retired chartered accountant or whatever. Yeah. And the thing is, like, that guy must have worked his ass off doing this. Like, you have to have financials all the time, everything. So actually, self-managed is good. You do save money. Am I correct? Were the condo fees a lot lower when it was self-managed?
Yeah, you know what, too? The other thing I find, and there's another complex that's very close to where I used to live. And so it's 3 blocks of townhouses. One is self-managed. The other 2 are managed. You get more done. Like, maybe the condo fees are similar. Like, it's marginally the difference, but
you get more done on self-managed. You get more done on self-managed.
Yeah, like they're on it with the retaining walls, and their landscaping is impeccable. Like, you can just see, that one is they're using their money wisely, and the savings from the management company, they're putting it right back into the ground. So. Yeah, it is interesting to see if you panned. It's on Fairwood Place. You'll notice
Yeah.
it. It's just subtle. The
Yeah.
one set of block is just it sparkles, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I know I couldn't be part of any board or anything. Like even if it's managed by a property management company, I still couldn't even be part of a board. It's just like you have to, like, I don't know, you have meetings once a month or twice a month. I don't know. I couldn't be part of that. But Brian, this is the question.
Yeah.
Is it hard to get financing on self-managed properties?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's actually the CMHC, like the mortgage insurance companies, they don't discriminate between self-managed or property management companies, right? What the biggest thing that they look for is like the reserve fund, lawsuits, that kind of thing. So typically, a lot of times the financing company, the bank, the credit, they're not even looking at the condo strip. They're leaving it up to the lawyer to review to make sure there's no issues or nuances in there. But once in a while, we do see ones that get flagged. I'm sure you guys have seen ones where it's like they will not finance this building, and it hasn't. You know, I'd be curious to see whether it was a self-managed or not. But it's typically because so many potential sales have tried to go through there that the mortgage insurance company, like the Canada Guaranteed, the Sagen, that was old Gemworth, and CMHC, have flagged it and said, listen, this has been mismanaged. We're not financing it unless you got 20% down. Then maybe you can go to a bank and get it done another way.
Well, Conrad and also Brian, you guys, Nicholas Drive, it's had a bad rap for like how many years? I think ever since
Did
that property management company go bankrupt years ago? Like it's not the same property management company that's managing it now, but that building, like. Condos you can buy for like, well, it was like a year ago it was 250,000. Now they're what 350 now. Like Brian, like banks, those are hard to finance. Ones that have a bad rap from like property management companies from 20 years ago or 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and I think that Nicholas Drive had a special assessment on it too, if I'm correct, where they had, I forget what it was, might have been balconies at $15,000-$20,000 for assessment. But what ends up happening is it's a lot. So the mortgage insurance companies have way more information than the banks. And what I mean by it, because everything rolls up to them. So they actually have a whole lot more data to access on properties. Whereas, you know, the Scotia, RBC, TD, anybody else, if you're not insured, if you're putting down more than 20%, that's kind of how you'll finance those buildings, because the banks typically won't know about an issue with those properties because they don't, a lot of times at that 20% range, they don't have as much due diligence as the mortgage insurance company. So if you're trying to finance one of those places as a first-time buyer with 5 or 10% down,
ain't happening.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. And we tell people that, like, I mean, not like, especially if new realtors are coming into the place, you know, they got this buyer and they're saying, hey, there's this condo for sale. It's been sitting there for 60 days. Hey, I think this is perfect for you. And then all of a sudden the first time buyer has just got like maybe what, 10,000 and he can't submit an offer on that. Those are so why is that building? I know it's had a special assessment, but wasn't that special assessment done years ago?
Yeah, I think it was years ago. I haven't seen one come up in that building recently, but I would imagine it comes down to the reserve fund, because we have seen on that building, we've made, you know, for certain buildings where, let's say there's a good case to say, hey, property management was poor 10 years ago, but good now. We'll actually take the condo, we'll take all the documents and send it to the insurance company to review, because maybe they just haven't done a review in 5 years and no one's actually done the work to say, hey, your records are out of date now. The reserve fund is better. It's actually a good building now. So that sometimes it's incumbent upon the mortgage broker to re-educate, because they're just making decisions based on old information.
Right. Yeah. So self-managed is not a big issue in the area as sometimes what I'm reading about. Sometimes it's actually good if it, like the building you were in, Conrad. It was run really well. It was a good guy, but then he ended up leaving and
then you just, it's a staffing thing. I think you get these committed group of people. I think that's really where it's at. And I think you got to constantly train people to be around. But I think there's another one on the mountain I know of, close to Lime Ridge. It's Lime Ridge West. Again, self-managed, again, you can see there's a bit of a sparkle there. I'm not
Yeah,
you know, you
yeah.
can tell. You just drive in and there's,
yeah,
you know,
no,
it's just a little bit more vibrant, right?
I get it, and
doing it.
I get it. I get it. Like self-managed, it is going to be a lot better. Like was it 1998? I remember when I just got into the business, and they were just implementing the Condo Act to all the property management companies. Is it they had to have 10%? They had to keep 10% into a reserve fund all the time. Is that what was the Condo Act like? Remember that came in about 20
Well,
years.
it had to do a lot with the those reserve fund studies. So the wisdom of the Ontario government, Canadian government, to not see what's happened down in Florida, obviously. So those reserve fund studies that's really where it was at, because they were seeing a lot of condos in let's say like East York, Etobicoke, that they weren't keeping them. You know, the underground parking was an issue, and you know it was getting like really risky kind of thing, like in terms of deterioration. And people were saying, I don't want to pay this kind of money. So I think that's when all that reserve fund study came in. And you got to remember too, like a roof could have an effective life of 25 years. The reserve fund's probably going to bring it down to 20. So really there's a lot of protection for people that buy condos in Ontario specifically. So I doubt we'd ever see something like happened in Florida at all, because they're erring on extreme caution. Right, extreme caution.
Well, the building that fell down in Florida. I mean, they knew they needed to spend money, but the board, the residents, just held off and held off and held off. They didn't want to have that special assessment, and look what happened. Now, I'm sure there's going to be insurance issues with that one. There's going to be insurance companies say, hey, wait a minute, this should have been taken care of. This should have been looked at. There should have been studies on this. Engineers should have been there, and it wasn't. So I'm sure there's going to be a big legal battle going on with that. So but I didn't realize. Like, I mean, I know my son Phil, he has a condo. And he can't believe the drama that goes through the buildings in these condo buildings. And he's like, everybody's talking and he gets the letters in his mailbox about, you know, why there's a special assessment and everything on that. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of living in a condo. Just because, like, I mean, I'm okay with it, but I find that the condo fees just keep going up and up, and like faster than a normal, more than inflation. Like, what is it, Conrad? What is it? Like, I mean,
Well, you know, I think again, it's like assembling a professional team around you. Like, you know, and I know, Rob, your agents are very, very qualified. So really, at the end of the day, I think you have to do the analysis, and it's when you're selling condos, because, you know, sometimes that's the only choice. What are the kind of amenities they have, right? Stay on top of that, and I think, you know, is there a door person? You know, that really elevates it. How many units? I think, you know, if it's some people like this little boutique, you know, 80 unit, 75 unit building, but you know, when you're thinking over 75 units versus over 160 units. You could see it getting pricey, and I think you have to really stay on top of it, like that whole thing with Nicholas. And I think agents knew to stay away from that. And again, you need a pro, right, to really analyze it. And then what I'd really like to see is, though, if we took some of these self-managed ones, compared them to like if there's a differential in value, like per square foot, I'd really curious to know that number. If self-managed, and maybe we might start a revolution of self-managed condos.
No kidding. Like, I mean, the guy that was managing your condo, what if he started his own company? Obviously, he was doing a good job, and just say, hey, listen, I only want to manage 5 buildings. That's it. And he's making a good living, and the condo buildings are getting big reserve funds. They're getting, it's running smoothly without having heavy increases in condo fees. So
look, if you get a core group of really great dedicated people, you should be fine. And actually, you can know there is they rank the best managed buildings. There's a ranking system, because my folks live on 399 Elizabeth. It was ranked for probably the last 7-8 years, #1 best managed building. So again, going back to what Brian said, there's that data is available to help, you know, your clients make a better decision, and watch, you know, the expectation of will these amenities end up, biting me in the butt because of the condo fee and so on and so forth, right? So I know, I'll tell you, Rob, you show units all the time. How many people are in those pools? I don't think I've ever shown a condo in my entire life, and I'm not active now, but like 25 years ago, I don't think I saw anybody in a pool ever.
they show up in the middle of the night. So, so one last, I know. You go by like nobody. You're right. Nobody's in those pools. I don't even know why they build them. I guess that's how they sell condos. They rent
them out now on Swimly. They rent them out for additional income. Yeah, they rent them out now.
So Brian, listen, I had some guy call me up and he asked me. He's a lawyer in town. I'm not sure if you recognize this guy, Yogesh.
Yeah.
You know what? He called me up out of the blue. Just said, hey, I'm new and like he's a lawyer and I said, yeah, come on in. I gave him he called me and I said, come on in and I'll talk to him. Really nice guy.
Yeah, he's cool. Great.
Have you met Yogesh Conrad at all?
No, I haven't. No, that's cool.
He's great. You know what? And I think it just goes to say he is a hungry guy. And sometimes professionals in our business, they get a little bit complacent, right? And to see a professional out there hustling, looking for business it's refreshing, right? Yeah, it's really cool to see.
And then he tells me he's on John Street, and I go, oh yeah, and then. All of a sudden, he goes, yeah, I know Brian from Mission 5 Mortgages. I go, what? I goes, yeah, I'm in this building. I go, what's a small world? But you know what? I have to give this guy a lot of credit for calling me and meeting with me and stuff like that. I really like the guy. Yogesh is a really nice guy. Yogesh,
he'll love it. You made his day right now, Rob. You made his day. He is jumping for.
How much was this advertising worth?
It's zero advertising. This guy. So I have to give this guy credit. He's a good guy. And his last name is pronounced Gotham, like as in Gotham City.
Like I got him. I
got him. Yeah. So cool stuff. Well, guys, listen. Thanks for coming out. And listen, Brian Hodgman from Mission 35, Expert Mortgage Services, Conrad Zerini, Remax Escarpment and Remax Niagara, broker owner, and myself here at Rob Golfi here. Anyway, guys, listen, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Great. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Bye-bye.